My name is Cheryl McWilliams and welcome to Healthy Living. Our guest today is Dr. Timothy Howe, an internal medicine specialist at Parkview Adventist Medical Center. Welcome, Dr. Howe.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Today we're going to be talking about weight and weight control. It's a subject that's very near and dear to my heart because literally not a day goes by that I don't think about my weight. I have yo-yoed, I've gained weight, I've lost weight, I found what I lost and 10 times over. And I found that over time, one grows weary of being on a diet. I fortunately was able to lose the weight and have been able to keep it off, and I've kept it off because I've used some of the principles that you espouse. So I'd like to talk about that today, about is gaining weight inevitable as we grow older, and then how can we go about keeping our weight in control?
Well, Cheryl, gaining weight is not inevitable as we grow older, but it is very difficult not to unless we take charge of our lives and our weight and our eating habits early on. Your comment about gaining and losing reminded me of a story I once heard. A patient came into my office and he said, "You know, my wife has a real weight problem." I said, "Tell me about it." He said, "She's lost 2 tons since we've been married." The same 10 pounds over and over again. I call that the rhythm method of girth control. And it's not very effective, just like the other isn't as well. But controlling our weight is important. It's interesting, if you take someone that's quite overweight, it's that first 10 pounds that they lose that does them the most good. So no matter where you are on the weight scale, losing that first 10 pounds and keeping it off is really the most important thing that you can do. If you can keep off that 10 pounds and not regain it, it's a big benefit. Because the first weight we lose is the weight around our internal organs. And if we can lose 10 pounds there, it will have a marked effect not only on our waistline, but also on cancer risk and risk for diabetes. So no matter what your weight is, that first 10 pounds is so very important.
I understand that the weight that we carry around our middle, that visceral weight, is actually metabolically active, or it's not just sitting there.
You know, that's really true. People think, well, you know, this weight that's around my middle, it's just weight and I'm just carrying it around, but that's not true. That weight is metabolically active. It's like an organ, if you will, like a hormone-producing organ. It does produce hormones. And it is that weight around our middle that raises our risk for diabetes, that raises our blood pressure, that raises our risk for heart disease. And it's that weight that we're carrying around our middle that causes cancer. That fat is so very important for us to realize. It's not just sitting there doing nothing, it's sitting there harming us.
Wow. And it seems like as we grow older, that's more often than not where we gain our weight, is around the middle.
That's right. You know, you can look at weight lots of different ways. You can look at how much you weigh on the scale, or how your clothes fit, or this or that. But probably the best way to measure our weight is to measure our waistline. For men, if their waist is over 36, they weigh too much. That's regardless of your height. Of course, height plays into it, but if your waistline is over 36, you weigh too much. For women, if the waistline is over 34, you weigh too much. And for men, that's not where you wear your pants. That is where the biggest area is between your chest and your hips. And that can be a lot bigger than your pant waist.
Absolutely. What role does nutrition play in losing weight or maintaining a healthy weight?
What role does nutrition play? Well, when I think about weight, I like to think about the first law of thermodynamics. And that law states that energy is neither created nor destroyed. When we eat food, That's energy source. And once it gets into our body, we can't destroy it. We can transform it, but we can't destroy it. There's no pill that you can take that'll destroy that fat. There's no diet that you can go on that will destroy that fat. The only thing that you can do once the calories have slipped between your lips is to transform those calories, and we transform them into heat and work by activity. So the most important thing is probably not nutrition, but activity, based on that first law of thermodynamics. Once those calories go through our lips, they're either going to be on our hips, or we're going to have to transform them through useful activity, hopefully, but even not useful activity, activity of some sort is our only hope toward controlling our weight.
But it seems like we're spending a lot of time trying to get rid of activity. You know, we drive around the Walmart parking lot for 10 minutes waiting for that spot closest to the door. We blow our leaves as opposed to raking them. We ride the riding lawnmower as opposed to, you know, pushing the lawnmower. We're taking activity out of our lifestyle on a regular basis.
In our quest for time, we are losing life. Because as we get all these labor-saving devices, trying to find more time, we're losing that activity we need to lengthen our life. It's so very important for us to be more active. I've often said that I'll know that I've made a difference when I go to the local big box store and all of the parking places close to the store are empty, and there are people fighting over the parking places far from the store for their activity. Because it is those little things, taking the stairs, walking further in the grocery store, it's raking your leaves, it's mowing your lawn with a push mower rather than a riding mower, it's splitting your own wood with a maul rather than a splitter. Those are the things that increase our muscle tone, increase our calorie burn. Another thing that I don't think we're aware of always is if you have a pound of fat sitting there, it burns very few calories. If you have a pound of muscle, it burns quite a few calories, up to 5 to 10 times as many as fat or more. So it is very important for us not only to be active when we're trying to control our weight, but also to build muscle, because the more muscle we build, the more energy we transform even at rest, even while sleeping, than if that muscle were not there and were replaced by fat. In fact, one of the major reasons that we gain weight as we age is we lose muscle mass. So if you eat, let's say, 2,000 calories a day at 21 years of age, and at 30 you're still eating 2,000 calories, and at 40 you are, and at 50 you are, you're going to gain weight, unless you markedly increase your activity. And we know that usually as we age, we decrease our activity. So the only hope there is, as we age, either to decrease our caloric intake or to increase our activity level.